Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Media Buff Podcast, the show about anything and everything media related. I'm your host, Ed, and with me are the fellas, Mr. Matt and Mr. Omar. Say hello, you guys.
Hello, it is I, Captain Raymond Holt.
Oh my.
Wow. Hello there. How you guys doing?
There it is. In case anybody's missed it. Salt your
Not
peps,
really.
Make sure you stay dry out there. It's kind
Back
of
in the
wet.
house. Oh my god. And of course, my lovely wife, Jan. Say hello. Say hey, babe.
Hello.
Lady Hyper Focus Lane couldn't join us today. She's feeling under the weather. We hope for a speedy recovery.
Well,
I had a
as she
stim
put
pack.
it,
I had a
she
stim
said
pack
she's
that
dying.
I had a stim pack, but I forgot to give it to her. Yeah. So with that being
Failure,
said, so for that being said, as always, the second week of every month we are doing recommendations. This is just a segment where we dish out some stuff we think you should check out. Whether it's a movie, some new album, old movie, video games, what have, doesn't matter. This is something we think that you might enjoy trying out or checking out for yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and go first, and then whoever wants to chime in after that, you're more than welcome to. For my recommendation is a new game that just launched. And if you've been watching my other channel at Engineered Productions, you know that I've been playing it religiously right now. And that's
Gee, I wonder what that would be.
Gee, what would it be?
Ooh.
Monster Hunter. Basically, if you're a fan of the Monster Hunter franchise, or if you're just a fan of Capcom in general, definitely check out this game. It's their latest installation in the series, third one in the new gen so far. Monster Hunter World was basically what revitalized the franchise. Then we had Monster Hunter Rise on the Switch, which was equally as great. And Rise is their latest latest addition to that, where they took basically everything that was awesome about World and Rise, and they cranked it up to 25 because one, the weapons, even though the mechanics are basically the same, like literally you can, whatever you know from World and Rise, you can adapt into this game, but they cranked it up to make them more versatile, more grandiose in the sense where you can just rip apart your prey or deal devastating damage with new mechanic called Focus, where basically you pinpoint a wound in a monster and just starts digging at it till he bleeds to death. By the way, this game, I always thought that this is a horrible representation of animal cruelty, because that's basically the premise of the game. And you're not even fighting evil monsters. These are just the creatures that live in the world that you reside in. And you're just going around slaughtering these things so you can build yourself a pelt or a new sword or a new bow, whatever. So
it's Pokemon.
It's Pokemon, but with a lot more cruelty in it. I myself have enjoyed every bit of it, which should tell you something about me, but don't read too much into it. Yeah, dude, honestly, playing that game, I always think, I'm like, man, PETA would just like go ape shit when they see stuff like this, because it's not one of those games that you're like, oh, you're fighting a demonic creature, or these creatures are destroying the ecosystem or whatever. These are just genuine animals roaming around, and you're like, hey, I'm gonna chop you up and take your pelt so I can make myself a new hat. And that's the premise of that game. You hunt, you craft, you repeat. There's a couple of side stuff here and there. Multiplayer is one of the biggest aspects of this game nowadays, where you can hunt with up to 4 people in your party, well, 3 other people in your party, and just go to town on any poor unsuspecting prey and just demolish them, so you can each penny up the parts and craft your own stuff and just to go in it again. But despite that, the Monster Hunter community is just in awe with this game, because for starters, they're bringing back a lot of the older monsters from some of the older titles. And as always, in a good Capcom fashion, there's going to be collabs. World had some of the best collabs where they collaborated with Street Fighter, Devil May Cry. Even there was one iteration.
Hey, Capcom makes other games aside from Resident Evil and Street Fighter.
Yeah, right.
I never knew that.
There was one iteration in a Monster Hunter game that was for the DS or was it 3DS where they had a collab with Metroid, and one of the armor sets literally turned you into Samus Aran, which was really cool. And that's one of the aspects I think that a lot of people like of the Monster Hunter franchise, that Capcom really uses that platform to show people, hey, we do make other games. If they make a collaboration with Resident Evil and we get a Chris Redfield armor set, that'll be awesome. I will hunt that monster until I get every single part, so I can start going around with a shotgun and just start murdering every
No, the
monster in
buff
my
you
way.
get is the ability to punch boulders.
Yes, yes. Or you get something that's Wesker-esque and you just get to zoom around and wear really nice shades that never fall off even though you get punched in the face repeatedly.
And then a rocket gets shot in your face.
Dude,
Actually, there was one collab. I don't know which one it was, but you did end up with an RPG type weapon. That's another cool thing about this game, that the weapons, even though they look like very archaic, they're almost modern. So a lot of the weapons they are tailor made to appease your play style. If you're a quick hack and slash guy, go with the dual blades. If you're a technical fighter that likes to have a good defense but a good offense as well, you can go with the sword and shield. If you're an all-out guy who wants to just destroy your prey with blunt force trauma, the
Hey,
grand
Hugga Buggas.
yeah, the hammer or the great sword is your bread and butter. Or if
that's
you just look
that right there.
exactly, or if you like looking like a badass samurai and having your moves be insanely stylish, you can go with the long sword, which
That's
is just yep, there's one right there. Exactly. So this game is like tailor made for anywhere. Let's say you play shooters. They have guns in this game, man. Come on. They're called bow guns, but at the same time, they're freaking firing 30 rounds a second, and then you have freaking grenade launchers and rocket launchers and what have you. Not to mention that they have different kinds of items you can use in game to either put your prey to sleep, trap them in a pitfall, or straight up just poison them to death. Well, not poison. Yeah, actually, you can poison them to death, which is insane. So definitely check out Monster Hunter Wilds, folks. It's a hell of a time. And even if you haven't played that game, play some of the other Monster Hunter games that have been released recently, because
Or if people
they're
can't
more
afford
inviting.
it, they can play Dauntless.
Actually, Dauntless is the poor man's Monster Hunter. Yeah. Good shout out to that game, because that's one game that we played that was actually pretty fun, and it's very Monster Hunter esque. And but definitely check out Wilds. It to me, I think is their best title in the new. I want to say the new franchise, because the Monster Hunter franchise kind of fizzled out in the DS era, which is a lot of the reasons I think is because of the controllers. But when Worlds came to the PlayStation and the Xbox and PC, I think that really just jump started the franchise. Capcom is definitely making a big comeback these last couple of years.
I still need Mega Man X9.
Yeah, we need a new Mega Man. So Capcom, if you're listening, take the money you get from Wilds and invest it in that. All right, who wants to go next?
I can go next.
Jen? All right, Jen's gonna go next. What do you want to recommend?
Okay. Well, I'm still not I haven't fully binged watched the show, but I'm watching Abbott Elementary at the moment, which is
The
an
fuck?
American Abbott Elementary.
Think of it like Parks and Rec or The Office, but in a school.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
So
it's like if you saw The
Dominion?
Office or The Modern Family,
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
or
it's in a school.
what was the other? What We Do in the Shadows?
Yeah, what we do in
No,
kind
I
of like-
thought that one.
Yeah.
It's basically done in the same style. It's a comedy. It's really funny.
It really
It's
is.
about a group of teachers that are teaching in this like all black school,
Called Abbott Elementary.
heavily black school in Philadelphia, West Philadelphia, and it's heavily
Philadelphia?
underfunded.
Yeah, West
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
So it in the series there is a crossover with Always Sunny,
Yeah, always inside.
and one of the
West
seasons.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, there's a crossover.
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten to
DC
that point though.
Do you see Danny DeVito?
Yeah, he's in it. So is Sweet D
Yeah.
and Dennis and Mac
Charlie?
and Charlie.
They're all in it.
Yeah,
they're all in it.
It's a crossover.
Yeah, it's
So,
a full on crossover.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I still haven't gotten to that point. It's out. It's been out since December. The pilot aired December 7th of 2021.
Also, it's been out for
Yeah.
a minute.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I think they were waiting to see how it did
Mm-hmm.
and with the pilot, and then they started doing all the episodes like in January of 2022,
Ah,
and it's up
okay.
to 4 seasons now. It basically follows like this a group of like 5 teachers, and like there's this lady in particular who's like the main who is the creator of the series, who's her name is Quinta Bronson.
That's the actress's
Yeah.
name, or okay.
Yeah, she's the second grade teacher. She's the optimistic teacher.
What's her name in the show?
Janine Teagues.
Janine Teagues. Okay.
Yeah. And so she's very like unoptimistic, like trying to make a difference in the school. You know, when it's
she's bright-eyed.
yeah. It's like, you know, because she hasn't been a teacher that long. So.
Yeah.
Nothing
She's still
bad ever happens.
she's still
Yeah.
optimistic of the school
So
program.
she's like, she knows that they're like, you know, heavily underfunded. Like she sees like, because there's a lot, it just teaches you the reality of how bad the education system is.
But it makes it funny.
Yeah, but it makes it funny. Like it's basically pokes fun of real issues.
Yeah.
But there's like a bunch of like it's so funny because the principal ended up getting the job by blackmailing the superintendent.
Yeah.
So she
had
was
dirt on the guy.
Yeah. Apparently he was like someone related to a pastor or something. He
Yeah.
was like the deacon, and he was messing around with some other church person.
Yup.
So she got that dirt on him, and so she was able to get she's because the principal, dude, the lady is so bad.
Yeah, she's really bad.
Like they
job.
got like at one point they got funding to have like rugs for the school and improve the school, and tell me why she wasted all that money
on a billboard
for the school
with her name on
yes.
it.
She wanted
it's just like-
recognition.
Yeah.
And she just does so many little things like that are very aggravating, because I'm pretty sure there is people out there like that
Yeah.
that just mess up, like you misuse funds that are supposed to go to something else.
True.
And it's just like this poor teacher just tries to do a lot for her students, and there's other teachers that been there longer, like this older lady that's been there longer, and she just tells her,
is
she's
she
like,
jaded and cynical?
yeah,
a little bit, yeah.
Yes, a little bit. But she's like telling them, like, you do what you can with what you have, you know?
She's very insightful.
And if you can't, like, you outsource, you go and see what you can do. Like look for like favors or whatever that somebody can help you.
Yeah.
So they decided to start helping her on little things.
Yeah.
So they come together, and they just every day is something new that they have to figure out, because they don't have the funds.
New issue to tackle.
Yeah.
That's always school related.
But yeah, like I've definitely recommended the guy from Everybody Hates Chris, All Grown Up is in it, is one of the teachers.
Yeah, the guy who plays Chris in the show, he's in it. He's one of the teachers. He's like RoboCop in the sense that he gets put into that school thinking he's only going to be there for a little bit, but then he just gets sucked in. He gets trial by fire.
He gets sucked in because he sees how much that second grade teacher, like Janine, like cares about her students in the school. So he tries to help, but do the same thing. But he's very aloof to us, because he's a substitute teacher. So he's starting off as a substitute teacher, but he's very aloof to his students. Like he's like, oh, like he didn't even pay attention that his students actually like him. They were drawing drawings of him, but even that wasn't even clicking with him until one of the teachers told me, hey, you know that they like you, right? But yeah. But no, if you guys want to watch it, it's on Hulu. It comes out on ABC at 8:30 at night on Wednesdays, every Wednesday. But I think it's worth checking out. And it's up to 4 seasons, about 25 minutes an episode.
Yeah.
And it's up to like probably about 15 or so a season.
Plus it's wholesome,
Yeah.
You learn something every episode. Like there's one particular episode where I think the hallway lights are flickering.
Yeah.
And so Janine, she asked the janitor if he can fix it, and he said, like, I'll get to it. So she just takes it upon herself to try and fix it herself. And in the process, not only does she cause the power to go out in the school, I think she ends up causing a blackout in the area, right?
Yeah, in the school.
Yeah. So
because the AC that they had breaks.
Yeah, and then everybody just turns
and
on
since it
her.
was really hot, it's just
Yeah. This is one of those shows that if you're a teacher, you'll relate to it. And if you remember your days in school, you'll probably relate to it too, because there's a lot of caveats where some of the students are either not as smart as one would should be at that grade level, but on top of that, the parents are just as bad.
Yes.
Like there's one episode where the teacher who's played by the guy from Everybody Hates Chris, she constantly brings a kid like what 10 minutes late.
You know, like an hour.
An hour late. Okay.
Starts like at 8, and she brings them in every day at 9.
And he's a bit of a pushover in the show, which
he's barely learning the ropes.
Yeah, he's barely learning the ropes. And then is it the older teacher or the other one?
Yeah,
it's
the older teacher.
The older teachers tell him like you need to like put your foot down with her.
Yeah.
And they end up seeing the mom at like a nail salon, I think.
They took the lunch. They both took their lunch break at the nail salon because, well, one, it was 2 birds, 1 stone. The lady was gonna get her.
Yeah, she wanted to get her nails done,
but she knows that lady frequents that nail shop.
Yeah. So she pushes him to basically confront her, and in the process, she kind of ends up swooning a little bit for him, which he doesn't pick up at first. But then there's one scene where she comes and drops off the kid on time this time, and then she kind of makes like that thing when girls do when they're walking away and they sway their hips a little more than usual, and they look back at you. It's that like, and even he picked he definitely picks up on that, and he looks at how Jim looks at the camera in The Office. Like he does exactly that. And he goes like, okay, I picked up on that one right there. But yeah, it's a good show. Like if anybody is very into the Office-esque shows or mockumentary shows, it's definitely something to check out.
Yeah, and you'll definitely enjoy the janitor because he's had his own little quips here and there.
Yeah, he don't give a F about anything.
He's an older gentleman.
Is he like the janitor from Scrubs?
A little
bit, just an older black guy.
Just an older version.
And he's just like, you can't intimidate this guy. You can't bully this guy.
And then he's so like, and then she tells by the episode that you were talking about, she's like, you messed with my system, didn't you?
He has a system, so don't mess with it.
Yes.
Yeah. Plus, on top of that, every now and then he'll pop in. Do you guys remember Don't Be a Menace? The movie Don't Be a Menace? Every now and then he'll pop up and like say something, and it's like message. Like he'll actually say something, but it gives you that. It makes you think of that particular. He goes like message. Yeah,
it's fun.
Of course. Yeah. Plus, the crossover with Sunny is it should be motivation enough to check out, because you already know that they're gonna go in there cause some crazy chaos.
I'm just waiting to see what episode that is.
Yeah, he doesn't even get us, He's like, I don't think he's understanding. Yeah, he doesn't even get
what? Yeah, I heard what you said.
Wild card.
Oh, no.
You got anything else to say?
No.
All right. Anybody else? Who else wants to go next?
Omar.
Matt.
Omar? All right.
Omar.
Matt.
You're outvoted. Go, bitch.
Flip a coin. Let's hear yours, Omar. Let's hear you.
Fine. My recommendation is a book, actually.
Is it Crusader Arms?
I wish.
I mean, it should be. Folks, by the way, check out the book, by the way. Link in the description.
It better be.
Yeah.
Considering that tonight, at the time of recording, tonight is a lunar eclipse.
Oh, that's right.
Mm-hmm. It is? Oh, well, fuck it.
It should start.
Is this going by the way of werewolves now?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually it is.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
So what
is it werewolf? Is it werewolf porn?
Yeah, it's werewolf porn, Matthew. It's werewolf porn. So my recommendation is a book that I've read like over a dozen times called Wolf Moon by Charles DeLint. Came out in '88. It's a fantasy story.
Oh,
nice.
It's actually a really good story, considering I read it since high school.
Nice.
Basically, it's about a werewolf, not your traditional werewolf. He was just born a werewolf. Neither of his parents knew where the fuck it came from, and he's just trying to find his. He's just trying to find his place in life because his parents and his entire village shunned him. So he's been basically on the run. Takes place in a fantasy setting, like normal.
Mm-hmm.
And then he ends up winding up getting attacked by this magician who's just known as the Harper, because he has a magic harp. He's able to summon like monsters from different realms or fairy tales or some shit like that, or control people with music, essentially.
Nice.
Oh,
So he ends up getting attacked by him, and the main character, his name is Kern. He has like red hair, like rusty red hair. So when he turns into a werewolf, his fur is the same color.
Nice.
And he winds up getting like washed up into an inn where they treat him, they like heal him because he's just they don't know that he's a werewolf.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to make trying to repay their kindness by helping out with the inn, getting it ready for winter before the snowstorms and all that stuff, whatever. Then he ends up falling in love with one of the ladies who works there, which is the inn owner's niece.
Okay.
So he thinks he's living happily. He's finally finding a place where he could be himself, but he's still hiding the secret that he's a werewolf.
Isn't that how it always goes?
Yeah, it usually does.
Yeah.
But then suddenly, the freaking Harper, who's never seen the werewolf in his human form, he just knows him as the wolf form.
Okay.
He comes in, and you already know what's going on. He ruins shit for the werewolf. He finds out, he figures out his secret. He turns everybody against him, and right when he feels like he's about to get just leave again and forget everybody who he befriended, one of the employees of the innkeeper breaks the spell of the mind control of the Harper and convinces the werewolf to fight for what he wants.
He's got to fight for his right to party.
Yeah, basically, yeah, exactly. So it's a pretty intense. Not intense. Well, yeah, it's a really good werewolf book because I've been trying to find a really positive, something that enthralls me as in the werewolf genre. But everything that I tried reading just does not click very well because they usually make the werewolf more
the villain.
Not just the villain, but they try to make him too edgy, too dark that it doesn't even fit properly. This character, he's got a dark past, yeah, but he's not letting that define who he is. He's a kind and gentle man. Like he's
not sulking in it, right?
There's nothing remarkable about him besides being a werewolf. He's just an everyday guy, tries to do what he can. He's just trying to find his place. So finally finds it, gets all sent to hell because of the bad guy, and then big battle ensues. There's pretty, not necessarily graphic, but like nicely detailed transformations of the werewolf. So it's pretty cool. And so far, it's like the only good werewolf book that I've read, that I found in my 10 plus years of searching. That's why my main goal is to try and write a really good werewolf story that matches that kind of enthrallness. So it's called Wolf Moon, and it's got a pretty awesome picture for the cover art.
Nice. I'll have it on the video.
Yeah.
So anybody's watching.
Has anybody done any like adaptation, like
film,
anything like that?
From everything that I've looked up, there is no adaptation in from book to film, which would be really cool with today's technology.
For sure.
Yeah, and from you just telling me, I just gonna want to read the book now.
I will say this though, Omar, the plot, the way you described it, I don't know why, but it's almost a perfect description of the film A History of Violence. I don't know if you guys ever watched that with Viggo Mortensen. So you remember the plot, right? This guy, he seems like a regular guy. He works in the town.
He owns a diner, keeps to himself, has a decent family.
But then somebody comes into the diner, starts some stuff,
and then he smashes them all in the face with the coffee mug, and he really goes to town on this people.
And then Ed Harris is a guy from his past who comes and try to collect on him. So I want to say that whoever wrote the script for A History of Violence must have read that book, Omar.
My question is...
The plot, the way you described it, is almost a T, except, the wolf part of A History of Violence.
And Viggo Mortensen's character in History of Violence was a former mob enforcer.
Exactly.
So it was John Wick before John Wick.
Yeah, you could say that, John Wick before John Wick, but this is just a regular guy. There's nothing very remarkable about him. He helps people in the town, like he's kind of like their handyman, and he's married too. He has a wife, and the entire time he keeps himself. But that one time, these guys started trouble in his diner, and he had to take care of business. And then Ed Harris, the guy from his past, comes in to collect on him because I think there's like a bounty on him because he turned informant. I think.
Yeah. No. Maybe I don't remember that much.
I don't remember. I need to watch it, but it's a great film. Watch that, folks. By the way,
there's certainly more to the book, but I don't want to give too much away because I mean, it's a freaking almost 40-year-old book, but still people haven't read it because it came out the year I was born.
I was born that same year. So.
Yeah, so, but it starts off really good because it starts off with the main character already in wolf form, like full wolf form, being chased after the Harper and this magical creature that is like a cross between a polar bear and a yeti.
Nice.
Yeah, and like that thing is monstrous, but the thing is it's so supernatural because the way they were describing it is this big hulking mass of muscle and fur. But when it moves, everything like
it shakes. Everything shakes.
It doesn't shake. Like there's no footprints, no footsteps, no sound.
Oh, he's light-footed.
Yeah, it's like the world or the reality just moves away and gets out of the creature's way.
Ooh, interesting. Nice.
Well, I guess you could call it like basically think of RoboCop with Ed 209.
Yeah, interesting. Nice.
And
that sounds
the Harper, he's a very sadistic character too.
Sounds like it.
Yes, like the way they describe him as it being. Think of freaking a more charismatic John Malkovich in.
Oh my god! Why did I think that? Dude, why did I think that? Because when he said sadistic, it made me think of Cyrus.
Yes, exactly. Because he's like lanky, but he's got like chiseled, angled features.
Nice.
He's got spidery like fingers, long.
Yeah, Malkovich was a very good looking guy. A lot of people wrote him off, but he was a very handsome fella.
Very charismatic.
Yeah. No, his charisma alone, like his articulativeness and the way he carries himself. Top notch.
Yeah.
If it were to be made into a movie, Omar, who would you cast as the characters?
Damn.
Like would you want Malkovich as the Harper?
I would.
Like back in the 90s, back in the 90s, like
or what you call it, Ralph Fiennes.
Ralph Fiennes is really good at that.
He would definitely play the Harper very well.
Hades, Voldemort. This guy is typecasted as a villain, but he's such a good villain that you love him as a villain.
He's good. He's really good.
But for the main character, I don't know, someone who's like a natural redhead, but who's like stocky.
I don't know why, but I keep thinking of Manny Pacquiao. If he wants to like maybe go into acting, try it out. He's done commercials.
No, I don't know. I can't really think of anybody who would play the main character.
Canelo.
Oh, Canelo. My bad. I don't know why I said Pacquiao. Yeah,
I was about to say like he's not even red.
No, Canelo, because he's done commercials, and he's a super ginger.
Yeah,
he's a Latino ginger.
It's definitely got to be someone in their late 20s, early 30s.
And there is an actor who's a redhead, and he's a very kind of hairy redhead too. I don't remember his name, but if it comes up to me, I'll put it on the screen on the video.
Are you thinking about the dude from Jedi Survivor?
Him, yeah, Matt. Him.
He would be good. Cameron, I think his name is Cameron something.
Well, the character's name is Cameron, I think.
No, the character's name was something else.
No.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Name
you're
is
right.
Cam.
Let's see. Okay.
Right.
Cameron Monaghan.
So yeah,
that's the guy. Cal Kestis is his name.
Yeah, Cal. Okay. Yeah.
Because that kid.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I don't know if you guys can see it.
No, but that kid also played Joker in the Gotham series.
Oh, that's right. He did play Joker in that. Yeah.
He was.
But,
I only know him from Star Wars.
Yeah. No, he's a good. I hope he gets more roles because he's definitely got the chops for it.
I would like to see a live action movie
of Jedi Survivor.
Of Cal. Yeah. Well,
Cal
maybe
story.
Yeah, Cal's story. Maybe after Survivor.
Yeah, he could reprise the role easily.
Hell yeah. But yeah, I think if you want him to play as the werewolf, I think he could do it too.
Yeah, because he's not that tall either, is he? He's like
he's like 5'10", I think, or 5'9".
Yeah, because in the book, the character was described like to be moderate build, moderate height, like 5'8", 5'9".
Like Wolverine status.
No, Wolverine's 5'3".
Oh yeah, he's short. A lot of people do not know that Wolverine is crazy short.
Yeah, remember Deadpool and Wolverine?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel like that would make a cool film or even a series. Even You know, they could do it like Kung Fu, where he's going around kind of just like helping towns here and there, avoiding the Harper.
Yeah.
You know,
the thing is, like, I thought that like I was hoping it would be part of a series, but it's only a one-off.
It's a
damn,
one-off?
really?
Yeah.
Did the author write any other books?
He's written a lot of in the fantasy series. I haven't had a chance to check them out yet, but I want more like the way that they were describing it, like building the world. It was only giving you little tidbits of these other fantastical type creatures, and like it was just like giving like little hints that there is a world of magic out there. But that's all it gives you, just hints.
But
like
it doesn't give enough. Like it just gives like little like intros.
Yeah, like it gives you like
what is out there.
Because the setting is mostly at the inn in the middle in the middle of the woods where it's snow. They do go off to like a different farm. They go to like another town because there's a party at a tavern or whatnot. But mostly focuses in being in this inn. But like it gives you like little tidbits here and there of the world outside and makes you want to know more. And I was hoping that there would be like more books in the series or at least in this world that he created, with like focusing on different characters and whatnot. Maybe put them all together in one other compilation or something.
Would you keep the same story in a live action film, or would you change it a little bit?
I would definitely keep the same story, but I would add like maybe a little bit more scenes, like how Jen was saying, like adding the fact that the wolf was being hunted down by the Harper, or maybe having a little bit more of the Harper's like other kills, like showing him hunting other magical creatures when he lost the wolf afterwards. I would add like those kind of tidbits.
Yeah,
you know that aspect that you're describing also kind of describes the film Jumper. I'm wondering if a lot of people took it's a good film. I'm wondering if a lot of people took inspiration for the films from that book.
But I mean, like I said, how is Hollywood running out of ideas for films when there's perfectly books out there like the one Omar's
so many books that can be adapted into movies, dude? It's insane. Like the material is limitless. like those books.
Hint, Hollywood.
Yeah, for real, Hollywood. Come on.
Yeah, see, look, I don't know if you can see it, but this is the cover of the book that I have.
Oh, that does look cool.
That's fucking
Wait, there's different covers to it?
Yeah.
Charles DeLint, that's his name?
DeLint, yeah.
Nice. Very
so
nice.
Here's another cover of it.
Oh, that looks he looks funny.
He looks like freaking the grandma from Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, the better to eat you with, my dear. Send me pictures of those covers, Omar, so I can post it on the video. So the viewers can watch it.
Omar, have you thought of maybe you tinkering, like making something yourself?
I actually have like thought about maybe creating a fanfic of like my own characters, but in this world, in this setting. I just have not delved too much in fantasy yet. I'm more sci-fi action, and so this fantasy aspect has to flow properly.
Yeah.
For fantasy.
Yeah. Well, good thing about fantasy,
it's kind of easy to write for.
It is,
because you can kind of BS everything.
Yeah, see, I want to do that.
And you can make up words.
That's what I'm saying. You kind of get BS all of it.
Just because it's easy, it doesn't mean it's always going to come out good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to know how to pace it, and how it's very if you're gonna it's very descriptive. You have to be very descriptive, very like even the smallest details
because it's loud. Fantasy. The one thing about fantasy, it's loud.
Yeah, because you're painting a picture.
Yeah, everything about fantasy is loud. Like the creatures are loud.
Yeah,
the garments you wear.
This book is like it's low fantasy. Like there, like I said, there's fantastical elements, but they don't delve too much into it. There's
it's there, but you don't see it.
Yeah, it doesn't delve too much into it.
Like the most magic that you see is the werewolf transformations and the Harper.
Interesting.
And that's really all you see. And
then I wonder why it was just a one-off.
Well, if it didn't do well enough,
I need to look more into it, but I would like to try maybe adding to it.
Is the author still alive?
I'm not sure. Let me see. Yeah, he is. He's about 73. He's Canadian.
Maybe he just didn't feel like writing a sequel to it. He's like, this is good.
You know what, Omar? I would recommend you do that and send it out to him. Yeah. See if he would want to collaborate.
I was going ahead and like send an email or something to the dude and say, hey, you know what? I really like this book. I mean, and ask him, is there a reason why you didn't feel to,
Yeah.
Better yet, like if you
sequels.
can write the sequel yourself or just something tying into it, send it out to him, see what he thinks about it. Maybe you guys can collab or something.
That would be awesome, actually.
Yeah, ain't no harm in
He
trying.
could give you good pointers.
Yeah.
And even if like it gets rejected, it's still my writing. It still has something completed.
Exactly.
I just change a couple of things to make it my own and then just publish
Exactly.
it.
Yeah. I say you
I
do
mean,
that,
a lot
man.
of people do that
Even
nowadays.
if you can only do like the first couple of chapters, definitely get a good foundation going, and he can probably help you with the rest.
Probably like dual author, dual writing kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I also I've been in a funk when it comes to my writing for a while. Granted, I've been dealing with a lot of crap at the moment too.
Life. She's a harsh mistress.
I know, but and I still need to finish Crusader Arms as well. So.
Yeah, but definitely check it out, folks. What's the name of the title again, Omar?
Wolf Moon by Charles D. Lint.
There you go. I'll have a. Is it available on like major retailers?
Yeah, everywhere. Everywhere books are sold. Amazon.
Oh, there you go.
Noble. Just find it or just order it.
It's nice. There you have it, folks. All right, man. Let's hear what you gotta say.
Okay.
He's very secretive when we were talking about before we started recording, so I want to hear what this surprise is.
All right, so what I decided to recommend is another book, but it's not just one book, it is 3 books. It's a whole trilogy. And in all honesty, when it comes to like a high fantasy type of deal, this is like a close second, or it's pretty much tied first place with Lord of the Rings of like being one of my favorite trilogies of all time, at least in a book form. Y'all know how much I love my Lord of the Rings.
Yes, we do.
I don't know how much you love it. Can you tell me?
He loves it this much.
I love it so much.
To the moon and back?
More. Hey. I mean, it's like it's the perfect trilogy. I mean, you can't beat Lord of the Rings, except for maybe this one. It's called the Night Angel trilogy, and the 3 different books are called. The first book is called Way of the Shadows. Second book is called Shadow's Edge, and the third book is called Beyond Shadows. And essentially, what it's about is assassins.
Nice. Wait, I have that first book.
Yeah, it's really good. Fucking read it. Anyhow, moving on. The main characters are Kylar Stern, aka the Night Angel, formerly Azoth, and he is known as a wet boy, and wet boys are assassins with magic abilities. And he was trained under Rosa Blint, who is the best and most feared wet boy within their city. Okay, so pretty much what the first book is about is Azoth is adopted by the Sakage, and they're a notorious criminal organization. They're like the how do I put it? They're like the Dark Brotherhood Assassin's Guild in Skyrim. But also they do more than that. They pull a lot of political strings, because there's a whole political element of corruption and betrayal and all that other fun stuff.
That sounds a little like the League of Assassins from DC.
Probably it is. I'm not sure.
The Court of Owls.
Yeah, this book was written in all 3 books were published in 2008, and the author is Brent Weeks. I'm not sure exactly where he got his inspiration from, but you could tell he borrowed a lot of stuff from Lord of the Rings, like with the magic system and things like that. Just because, well, Lord of the Rings is kind of like the foundation for every type of high fantasy type storytelling there is.
Obviously,
pretty much, yeah.
So he trains under DeRosa to become an assassin. Facing the challenges, he learns the way of becoming a wet boy. And then, but there's an issue with Kalar, and that is he doesn't have a conduit. And a conduit is what resides in a person, and it allows them to use magic outwardly.
Okay.
It's
like a physical item?
It's just something that is like activated within you after going through intense training.
Oh, okay.
And the general rules are from the Sakage is you are to be eliminated if you cannot produce magic, because what use are you as a wet boy to them if you can't use magic, if you can't have those
Jeez.
skills? Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
Wouldn't it just be easier to have them become regular assassins?
No, because they're subpar.
Oh,
I'll
damn.
go over some of the abilities. So, like in the second book, DeRosa decides to give um, his um, his magical ability, and what it is called the Black Kakari. And what it grants Kylar is it grants him invisibility, abilities to magic, absorbs hostile magic. So if you like shoot like lightning at him, it won't affect him.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Nice.
And it generates weaponry and tools made of the Kakari itself. So if he needs like a dagger, he can magically form a dagger and it becomes a real dagger.
Nice.
And it also grants him immortality, but there is a stipulation to that immortality. You still die, but your body comes back.
Interesting.
If you are familiar with Hellblazer, you know
Yeah.
Constantine's cab driver.
Yeah.
You know how he has that curse on him where he like in order for him to officially die, he needs to go through like 10,000 deaths or some
Yeah.
shit. It's pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
And
10,000 different deaths. Like he can't die the same
yes.
way over and over.
And also like and did I say it grants him invisibility? Because it grants him invisibility as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a pretty broken magical ability.
Nice.
But considering DeRosa didn't die often, he had uh centuries to master this, so he has a little bit more. Like he knows accelerated healing. Um, he can make better weapons and tools to fit his needs.
Nice.
Like it's, I think like he can like hold like give himself a way to breathe as well if he's underwater or some shit like that.
Nice.
It's pretty limitless. It's just you have to spend time learning it.
Right.
Yeah. I've only read like maybe up to a third of that first book because it's a fat fucking book. Like,
Yeah.
Wow.
Damn.
I have the trilogy. Like it's tall and it's fat.
Yeah. Well, you have the
Yes.
omnibus version, don't you? Because you have all three books in one collection, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I only have them.
Nice.
I only have the first one individually. But one of the things when I was reading it, what I couldn't stand is that with the main character, I understand that he has two names, but when the author or the narrator is referring to that main character, they keep referring back and forth to his two different names in the same like paragraph or the same page, the same scenario. Like,
that's
dude,
that is funny. Because like throughout the first book, he's having an identity crisis. He's not sure. He wants to become the best assassin. He wants to become the best assassin because like he comes from the Thieves Guild, which is the Black Dragon. They're called the Black Dragons. Mm-hmm. And he was picked on his whole life. And
oh wow, the way you're describing it is giving me Naruto vibes.
Naruto vibes.
Naruto vibes.
Naruto. Oh, Naruto. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a lot more fucked up than Naruto.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But hey,
although if you look at if you take away the jokes in Naruto, though, it's pretty dark too.
It is. Yeah. But so his backstory quickly is he's part of this thieves guild, and he is forced to steal things from a bunch of people, right? And they need to have a certain amount to turn it. If they don't,
they have a quota.
Yeah, they have a quota. If they don't meet that, quota, the one who is in charge of them all, and he's like the oldest boy. He's like 15, 16 years old. They call him Rat.
Rat.
Yeah, they call him Rat. He's abusive. Like, he beats the shit out of them, and
jeez,
there's some darker things with him as well that the book lightly describes. It doesn't go into detail, but I think you can pretty much get the gist of the type of person he is.
Yeah.
And in order for Kylar or Azoth to be accepted by DeRosa, DeRosa tells him, "You need bring me a head. Then I will consider you as an apprentice." And he knows exactly who he's gonna kill.
Damn.
The bully who was
I
think so. He's not opposed to killing then, huh?
No,
considering the way he grew up, obviously.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, he's an assassin, so obviously he can't have reservations about killing.
Yeah, think of it this way: the main character, he idolized this like number one assassin since he was a kid. Like, he built his, like, he wanted to be nothing more than this guy. Like, he wanted to be him. It was his hero.
By the way, Kylar is only like 8 or 9 years old. Maybe no more than he's still like a little kid at the beginning of his journey.
So is this Mikazumi's origin story from Iron Blood Orphans?
Sounds like it.
Mika!
It's just like a real shitty environment that some of these people grow up in. And he thought his only way out was to become an assassin. And
well, if you guys remember the movie American Ninja or American Assassin, the one we went to see in theaters, the guy he's a
you mean Ninja Assassin?
Ninja Assassin, yeah. It seems very reminiscent to that. Harsh environment, toughen them up, and all that.
Well, it seems to be like the general trope for
a
lot of these.
So throughout the first book, he wants to do everything DeRosa tells him to. But there's like parts of him that still wants to be that little kid. That's why when the narration is taking place, it's referring to both names throughout the first book. But that gets cleaned up in the second book.
No, okay.
Like in the second and third book, he's only referred to as Kylar.
He embraces that part of himself.
Like, it's just daunting and confusing because in novelizations of superhero books, they don't refer to the superhero by their secret hero name while they're in public.
Yeah.
Or versa.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't call Superman Kal-El Superman or
exactly.
Bruce or Batman Bruce Wayne Batman.
Well, first you gotta remember this isn't a superhero book. The kid still doesn't know who he is. Okay, he's discovering that, and yes, it's a difficult read, so you gotta kind of get used to that.
But you said after the first book, it's just that he goes by the that one name.
Yes, because his assassin name, or it's not his assassin name; it's his brand new identity. That's what's happening. Okay. That's why I say he has an identity crisis. Like he is remaking himself, and DeRosa is forcing it upon him. He's like, you need to be someone else. You can't be that kid anymore. You need to transform yourself into this. Pick a new name. Pick a new identity. Pick a new personality. So he's like, the whole thing and the whole reason behind it is to shed that old identity that was weak and pull something forward that is more confident and capable.
Mr. Anderson.
Yeah. So and then the second
is Neo.
And then in the second book, Kylar must choose between his allegiance to DeRosa and his own destiny. And he becomes entangled in the shadowy world of assassins and high-ranking figures facing betrayal and dangerous challenges, which is pretty accurate. And who they're talking about with like the high official people, like one of the other main characters that becomes best friends with Kylar is Logan Gray, and he's the Duke to become king.
Oh, okay.
And he's a really important character, and also he has probably one of the best storylines for like he is a main character, but also like a supporting character. And like his journey, like he's the Duke and all this other stuff, and he kind of has it easy, but then like the responsibilities to become king because he's married off to become king, but he wants to marry for love. But that doesn't happen. He's forced into a marriage to become king, and then he's in prison, and he has to survive imprisonment. But it's just not regular prison. He's thrown into a deep, dark hole.
Damn.
Yeah. And it's like, I think about like the Chronicles of Riddick when they just throw these people in this prison and they're just like there to take care of themselves. If you remember that movie.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's a pretty brutal environment. He even eats human flesh to stay alive.
Jeez.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Damn, then I need to get back into the series then, but all my books are packed up right now.
Yeah, it's a very dark and brutal series.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
then
can
there's
see that.
and then the other important character to know about is Elaine Cornwell, and she's formerly known as Doll Girl, and she's Carlisle's childhood friend, and eventually becomes his wife as they get older.
So
and
she's up during the series.
Yeah, he's growing up, but he leaves her. Like he leaves her and his best friend while he was in the Thieves Guild. And during their time when she was like a real little kid, she's like a couple years younger than him. She's like 6 years old. They all thought she was a mute because she never spoke until the day he left with the Roso. That's when she called out to him for him not to leave. But she is part of the reason why Kalar killed Rat is because that dude disfigured Dog Girl's face as punishment to Kalar.
Damn.
Because during the first book, Kalar was planning a rebellion against Rat. And so in order to squish that rebellion, he mutilated her face to make her ugly.
Jeez.
Yeah, and then in the third book, Kalar faces the consequences of his actions. And there's a lot of consequences to be had in the second book. Like, he makes some really tough choices. Especially with like certain people that he assassinates, like some really high officials. And the power of the Sakage that starts to grow, like exponentially. It really starts to grow, and he has to put an end to that. And he also needs to prepare for a war and make a decision to pretty much it's a big decision he has to make. And it helps Logan become king if he goes through with this decision. Okay. And it puts a lot of corruption to end. But if he doesn't go through with the decision, then the corruption continues. Logan doesn't become king, and everybody's fucked.
Jeez.
Damn.
Yeah.
Sounds like everything hangs on the bone.
Yeah, it does. But the main reason why I recommend the whole trilogy is because there's a lot of up and downs with this book. And those are like the core characters I mentioned, but each character that is introduced, which there's quite a bit, they all have like their own interesting story to them.
Okay.
And with everything that's happening, it kind of think of like House of the Dragon. Okay, you know how they have like all these
side characters,
all these side characters, and like,
but they all contribute something to the main.
Yes, they all contribute something major to the main plot of the story, and each of their own subplots are equally interesting.
I know there was a lot of in the House of the Dragon. There was a lot of
yes.
Yeah, see, I didn't even get into that series either. I couldn't really watch Game of Thrones, so why would I watch House of the Dragon?
I would argue that House of Dragon is better than Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it was. And that's speaking from watching 1 or 2 episodes of the other one.
Well, it didn't drag on, that's for sure.
Because House of the Dragon has the Doctor in it, and he's a good actor.
And it didn't drag on, so
it was pretty. It flowed really well. Hardly any filler.
Hardly, but
I said hard.
But also, like, reading Game of Thrones is so much better than watching it.
Yeah, well, books are usually always better than some of the live actions do a good job, but nothing always compares to the books. The book goes more into detail, into a lot of things.
Yeah, but that just reminds me of a book series that I keep recommending you, Matt, that you should read, because one of the characters heavily reminds me of you.
Being dashing, handsome,
stupid, hot-headed, and arrogant.
I am none of those things. I am charming. I'm like Jack Sparrow, okay?
If you say so.
Well,
do you have a jar of dirt?
Where's your where is your jar of dirt? And where is your stash of rum?
Why is the rum gone?
And the lamb sauce. Where's the lamb sauce?
My peanut.
Yeah. Oh, peanut.
You got anything more to say about the books, Matt?
Oh, God.
No. This is a really good book, or a really good series. People should give it a try. Like I said, it is a difficult read. But it's once you get into it, it really just pulls you in and grabs you. I'll admit, when I first started reading it, I think this is just like a Brent Weeks thing, because I also have the first book of another series called The Black Prism.
And it's also by him?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, there's no like connection between the Night Angel trilogy and the Black Prism. Like, there's no crossovers or anything like that. It's just the only connection is that he wrote both those book series. That's it. That's the only connection. But it's not. There's separate universes, all that other shit, right?
Those are the only sets of books he's written?
I think he might have done some other stuff, but those are like his 2 primary ones. And I would say the Night Angel trilogy is much better so far. No, let me rephrase that. The Night Angel trilogy is his best work by far. And if you talk to anybody who's read his books, will tell you that. Especially like all the fantasy geeks. And there's a lot of them out there that do love this trilogy. They do recommend this book for people to read.
Or series.
But yeah, the series. Now, what I was saying, as far as the author himself, like, it does kind of take a little bit of getting used to like, of his writing and his writing style. But once you like get past like the first couple of chapters, the story starts to really take off and pulls you in. He does a lot of setup in the beginning, so that way the story can kind of take off for the rest of the book, which is something I appreciate, aside from other authors that just like they go for the trying to get you interested up front, and then flush things out through the story, which that's okay, but sometimes that slows down the story, and it'll break the flow, especially if there's like a major flashback sequence. If I'm reading something like about like people trying to end this like a raid of bandits or something, and then one of the characters have a flashback back to like their childhood village, and they remember that the leader of the bandits slaughtered their parents. That just rubs when I'm reading, and I would just prefer them to stay in the present.
All right.
Do you say that his writing or style of writing is unique to what's out there nowadays?
Yeah, it's very different.
I don't know. Like I said, I still need to finish reading the books, but I has a shit ton of books that I need to, or series I need to finish reading as well.
Now, I have a question. Does anybody have any bonus recommendations?
I do.
Oh, cool. So do I.
All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
All right, bonus recommendation is the series that I just mentioned to Matt. It's called The Greatcoats by Sebastian de Castillo.
Oh, yeah. You keep recommending that shit.
It's a 4-book series. I am on the 3rd one. My friend Judy already finished the series. But from my understanding, the author has written a collection of short stories that focus on other characters in that world, other greatcoats. Basically, think of it as the Three Musketeers.
Nice.
Because it takes place in a fantasy setting again, but it's not high fantasy. It's just low fantasy, Middle Ages kind of setting. And these guys, these greatcoats, they're called because of their uniform, giant greatcoats that serve as body armor and whatnot. They all have one final quest to the king who was executed, and they're all trying to carry out that final quest. Each one is an individual to them. There's like 144 of them total, but the main series only focuses on 3 of them. The first 3 are Falkio is the leader of the Greatcoats. His best friend Kern, who's also the greatest swordsman in the land, and then Brasty, which is the one that reminds me of Matt. He is an archer who has the best eye. And can he's the Legolas of the fucking series.
Nice.
But each book focuses on a different adventure, but all pertaining to that final quest that Falkio was given to by his king. And they meet other greatcoats along the way. Like they reunite and shit happens. It's really fucking dark, brutal, but awesome as well. So Greatcoats, there's 4 books, and I think he is going to continue the series, but focusing on other Greatcoats and their own their own journeys. Well, it's as a side story to the main series. So it's something that you guys could check out.
Nice,
especially Matt.
What about you, Matt? What do you got for bonus?
This is actually kind of a turn away from books, and it's a YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
It's called Skyrim Tales.
What's the channel pertaining to?
Okay, so the channel the channel is set up like this. It's like they're like little shorts, and it follows a white run guard named Jesper. And it's kind of set up like a mockumentary. And it's like his daily life, what he has to deal with in Whiterun and the Dragonborn. And if you play Skyrim, it's well, yeah, you're the Dragonborn. Like you're the main character of the story. Well, like but what this person has done is like taken like all the things that people do in the game, like the cheese wheels and the cabbage, and just leaving them everywhere. And shit like that, like all the antics you can get in Skyrim as Dragonborn, this guy incorporates it into like each like little story. It kind of reminds me a lot of Red versus Blue.
Ah, okay.
It's really funny, especially if you've played the game.
Nice.
So I think people should check it out, and you're definitely gonna get a laugh. I'm just thinking of this one thing, and that is because there's like all these characters, like there's this thief and stuff, you don't know his name and shit like that, and there's like this other guard from like Dawnstar or some shit, his name is Dave. He's had quite the adventurous life Like, he just randomly brings up. He's like, "Yeah, one time I just stumbled into the Dark Brotherhood. That was a weird couple of months." They're like, "Wait, Dave, you're in the Dark Brotherhood?" He's like, yeah, but life happens, so moving on."
Nice.
I still say we need to do something like that with one of our games.
Yeah, and so, and then they're like, "Oh, we finally figure out why the Dragonborn runs around with his mouth open," and like the way you see the Dragonborn in this show, he's walking around like this. His mouth is open like this. And it's just a blank stare. He's like, just like that. And then they're like, "Oh, we thought that's just is like how he breathes, but no, he's running around half cocked to do a shout." and then in the same episode, you hear him do the unrelenting force shout, and you see some character go flying across the screen.
Oh my goodness.
And then you know how like they used to make you know how like you could just make a bunch of like iron or steel daggers to get your smithing up to 100, and that's one of the episodes. Like, so the Dragonborn decided to make all these daggers today.
Nice.
And that's a safety hazard. Leaving all these sharp knives laying around. Well, gotta clean up after that.
Yeah, I've heard of that exploit.
Yeah, so it's a really funny little series that they have going on.
Nice.
And I feel like people should check it out, especially if you need like a good laugh and you're a fan of Skyrim. You'll definitely get a good chuckle out of this.
I've been playing Skyrim on my Switch for the past several months.
Nice.
I recently went back to Skyrim and played a new file without mods. It's fun. Mods were fun, but it's kind of nice going back to like the vanilla game.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you, Jen? You got any extra?
I do actually. But this was it was a show that was done in 2007.
Oh damn!
Only had one season, which I was totally bummed. And it was due to a writer's strike.
Okay.
That's why it got taken off the air.
I think I know
because the writer didn't want to compromise, his writing,
his integrity.
Yeah, so it got taken off the air.
Oh, anyway, yeah. That wait, you said 2007?
Yeah, 2007.
Yeah, that's when a lot of shows had like really short seasons too.
Yeah, like the second season of Heroes was
and like the third season of Supernatural was like 16 or 18 episodes instead of 20 something.
Yeah,
22.
Yeah.
Yeah. He protected his, they wanted to take the show from him and he didn't want, it was a whole thing. But anyways, the show is called Moonlight.
Yeah,
and it's not the Marvel.
It's not Moon Knight. Yeah, it's Moonlight.
Yeah, it's Moonlight. And
Luz de Luna.
Yeah, it's Moonlight. It's about vampires, but specifically,
Do they sparkle in the moonlight?
No. It's not those ones. But no, I like the show very much because he's a PI. It's one vampire who goes by the name of Mick St. John.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
Oh my god, you need to watch it. It's really good.
Jen has it.
I have it.
She has a series.
His name is Mick St. John.
The privates.
He's a PI, and the reason he's a PI is because he struggles with his identity of being a vampire. He does not like being a vampire.
Wait a second.
So a way for him to cope with his being a vampire is that he tries to help people. He takes cases about kidnapping and such thing, or domestic violence or stuff like that, and he tries to help people.
This is actually pretty good.
It's really good. I mean, and he uses his ability.
This fucking show.
Yeah. To just help people is really good. Plus, there's tons of his vampire friends. One is specifically who goes by the name Joseph. Who's really funny. He's billionaire?
He's a billionaire, but he's like
playboy,
a very eccentric.
Eccentric.
Think of Interview with a Vampire. It's what's his name's Johnny Depp's character, not Johnny Depp. Tom Cruise's character, but not as evil.
Yes.
Yeah, Lestat, just not as
it's
evil.
like Tom Cruise's character, but not as evil. He's just very
he'll feed on humans,
yeah,
but he won't outright go and killing people.
No, yeah.
Wait, Tom Cruise's Lestat or the Lestat
Yeah.
from Queen
Interview from Interview with a Vampire, Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, think of that, but not as evil.
Yeah. And in the show, they have they ask people if they would want to be donate their blood for them to feed on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can can feed off them to the point where they're not dead, but enough to feed yourself, sustain yourself.
And Mick basically sustains it. He doesn't like biting people.
Mm-hmm.
So what he does is that he he resorts to going. He has a hookup at the morgue, which gives him his
blood bank.
Yeah, his blood.
Mm-hmm.
And time and again when he's with Joseph, he'll if he has they call him freshies. There's people that would let them feed off of them,
Yeah.
He'll do it like once in a while. But he doesn't really like to. But then, he ends up having a love interest by the name of Beth Turner, who is
she's a reporter, right?
Yeah, she's a reporter for think of it like for TMZ kind of.
Yeah.
Heavily. But she's trying to do more than that because she's actually trying to do real, journalism, but she has to use this as a stepping stone to get there. And but here's the kicker, what Beth doesn't really know at the beginning is that Mick knows her from when she was a kid because she was taken and he had taken that case.
Yeah.
His mom came to
and he saved her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he saved her because his ex-wife Coraline is the one that took her in order to get him back because he was upset at her because she's the one that turned him into a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the night of the wedding. Yeah.
Exposition.
Exposition and
But yeah, it's
but it's well
really
tied
good.
together.
Yeah,
it's tied well together.
It has it's considered a drama, but it's really good. It has like really good moments here and there.
There's really jokes here and there, especially with the friend.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of side characters that pop here and there.
Yeah. Especially elder vampires and stuff.
Yeah, older vampires that pop in here and there.
And it's really good, dude. Like I really even if it was just one season, it's really good.
Mm-hmm. That was a little harder to find though, because it's not streaming on anything.
Actually, it's streaming on Tubi.
Oh, Tubi has it. Tubi's the man.
Yeah, I just found it. I found it on Tubi because I didn't want to.
They have Hercules too. I started watching it again.
But yeah, it if you haven't seen it, I really recommend people watch that. It's a really good show. It is a bummer that they didn't, that the writer couldn't get any help trying to, get it somewhere on another network or anything.
That's it, man.
But dude, if they ever bring it back, that would be
good. For my recommendation is actually your other podcast, Matt, the Game Ecologist.
Yeah.
The latest episodes you guys had with the video game crash was actually pretty inquisitive. You guys had really good points. I like that you had was it Jason or
it's John's brother.
Sorry.
He's replacement Kyle.
And then you had I don't know if it was John's sister or friend.
No, it's a friend of James.
Okay. But
I don't know her at all. That was my first time meeting that person ever.
But besides all that, you guys made some pretty good points. Basically laying out the greed of game developers nowadays, EA mostly.
No,
EA
too, for reals. I personally, I found myself constantly yelling at the episodes because every now and then I'm like if that happens, I'm gonna kill somebody. And it's that's definitely gonna happen. That might not happen. It's he's hoping that doesn't happen. But
if it does.
Definitely check out the podcast, folks. They talk just about video games, but not just video games in the sense of play this game, play that game. They go in deeper. Case in point, this recent episode of gaming, the status of the gaming society right now, and how it is bottlenecking, and it could lead into a crash. I don't see it happening, but they made some good points, and they had some good thoughts about the whole thing. And plus it's funny because John, he's a character. The guy they had on, he was
John's a fucking idiot. I'm sorry.
Shout out to John, our biggest fan. But yeah, definitely check out their show. They're on YouTube exclusively. Oh no, they're on Spotify as well.
Yeah,
but they're
Spotify.
also on YouTube as well, and they do little clips here and there on TikTok. So definitely check them out. It's funny stuff, and of course you get to hear Matt jabber on again, and they let him struggle, which is funny. He gets to a point where like I don't know what else to say. Like no, keep going, Matt, keep going. They're mean to him, and then of course Matt constantly telling John to f off.
Well,
makes for good.
Also,
good
you always can catch our at the end segment of bad legal advice with me.
Yes,
I
terrible
am not
legal
a
advice.
lawyer.
I am not a doctor, but I am not a lawyer. But all right, that's gonna do it for this episode, folks. As always, if you're listening on YouTube, please give us a like, leave a comment, subscribe. If you're on Spotify, please do the same. If you want to reach us, do so on the Instagram page at the Meet Above Podcast. I promise you, if you message us, we will respond. If you're nice, we'll be nice. If you start a fight, Matt will finish it.
Because
let's get weird.
Yeah, we can get weird. You be some. You guys do not want to see our freak flags fly. I can tell you that much right now.
I am not a dick. Okay.
No, he's not. He's not.
Dick.
But he
no,
no se
I'm
deja
not.
tampoco.
But if you bring the smoke, I'll give you the smoke. Like,
yeah. And
I got nothing to bear do my time. Except talk shit. What?
Exactly. And of course, make sure you check out Maono for any podcast needs. We always use their equipment, and their mics definitely are one of the better brand out there that does not cost your soul or maybe a body part.
Or 2 body parts.
Yeah.
Or 18 of them.
Or a sacrifice.
Exactly. And of course, if you use code MediaBuff, you can get 10% off your first purchase. They do have a St. Patrick's Day sale going on right now. I think it'll end by the time we air this episode. But I have seen some of the prices on certain items stay the same after the sale is over. And if you use the code, you can stack our code word with it to get the additional 10% off. So definitely check them out. We get a little something off of that too. We could definitely use funding for the show.
Feed us, people. We're starving out here.
All right, then. With that being said, everybody say bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm waiting for Omar to say goodbye.
It's a Mexican stamp.
All right. Good night. Make sure you cover up, bundle up. Sweet dreams. Drink your water.
Don't listen to any of that. Goodbye. Get your shit and get out.
Good night. Sweet dreams.